What is going on, guys? My name is Richard. Welcome back to the weekly watch list video sponsored by MarketSmith. As always, we'll go through both the fundamentals and technicals of all the stocks on my focus list, and I'll also talk about the specific technical setup that I would use to trade each of them. If you enjoy my analysis, please go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And let's dive in and start with AMD. So overall, you can see excellent earnings growth down here. Last quarter earnings up 125%, sales up 26%, and return on equity up 39.3%. And in terms of annual EPS estimates, you can see in 2020, it's supposed to be up 72%, and in 2021, a further 51%, and the revisions are up as well. The EPS rating is a 9.9, the Group RS is an A, SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a B-, and the overall composite rating is a 99. And overall, you got an increasing trend in the number of funds, and you also have 3 high-quality funds investing into AMD as well. And looking at the chart, you can see that the RS line is basing along with the price, and overall, you can see it found support at the 50 SMA after this strong breakout from this consolidation, and now has moved up slightly and then pulled back gently to the 21 EMA and 50 SMA once again. So the overall RS rating is a 94, and as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a breakout above this pivot at 88.72, and before that, a move up off the 50 SMA, potentially a green dot setup early next week, and a breakout above this short-term resistance at 86.09. So that's AMD, and next up we've got CELH. And overall, you can see once again very strong earnings growth over here. You can see earnings last quarter up 167%, sales up 86%, and return on equity up 3.3%. And overall, you can see in 2020, the annual EPS is supposed to take a hit, but in 2021, it's supposed to be up 125% with the revisions up as well. The EPS rating is only a 39, the Group RS is a D+, the SMR rating is an A, the accumulation distribution is a B, and the overall composite rating is an 80. And overall, you got a nice increasing trend in the number of funds, but you do not have any high-quality funds investing into this stock. And looking at the chart, you can see it's consolidating right now below this 26.76 pivot and has found support at the 50 SMA a couple times now, is really tightening up below this 24.34 pivot. And overall, the RS line is basing on the price, and the overall RS rating is a very strong 99. So as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a green dot early next week as it moves up off this 50 SMA. And I really like the confluence of the 10 SMA, the 21 EMA, and 50 SMA, kind of like a coiled spring under this pivot. So that is CELH, and next up we've got Coupa Software. And overall, once again, excellent earnings and sales. Last quarter earnings were up 200%, sales up 32%, and return on equity up 13.1%. And overall, you can see in 2021, it is supposed to take a hit down 13%, but in 2022, it's supposed to pick right back up 36% with the revisions up as well. The EPS rating is a 78, the Group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, the accumulation distribution is a C-, and the overall composite rating is a 96. And look at the fund ownership, you can see it's basically tripled over the past 2 years, and you have 4 high-quality funds investing into this stock. And look at the chart, you can see it's been basing for quite a while now and is now in this stage 2 cup with a pivot of 353.55. But personally, I think you can draw on a pivot right here as well. And now let's talk about that specific setup. So overall, what I want to see, as I said, is a move through the short-term pivots at 320.30 or potentially a green dot early next week. And overall, I like this trend, although I would like to see the 50 SMA be increasing as well. So that is COUP, and next up we've got a recent IPO, GDRX, and overall they provide a software platform that helps to find discounted prices for prescription medications. And overall you can see they're profitable, and last quarter earnings up 40%, sales up 35%, and you can see there are no estimates for 2020 or 2021. The EPS rating is a 99, the Group RS is a B+, the SMR rating is not available, accumulation distribution is not available, the overall composite rating is a 79. And overall, there's not much fun information here. And taking a look at the chart, you can see it's in its IPO base, which is stage 1, with a standard pivot of 64.22. And as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a continuation off this green dot last week and potentially a breakout above the short-term pivot above 58.65 and eventually a breakout of the IPO base above 64.22. Next up on the list, we've got NVIDIA, and overall you can see excellent growth down here. Last quarter earnings up 76%, sales up 50%, and return on equity up 39.2%. In terms of annual EPS estimates, you can see in 2021 it's supposed to grow 58% and a further 21% in 2022. And the EPS rating is a 99, the Group RS is an A, SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is an A-, and the overall composite rating is a 99. And overall, you can see a nice increasing trend in the number of funds and a whole bunch of high-quality funds in there as well. And looking at the chart, you can see that the RS line has been increasing steadily throughout this entire move, and overall it's in a stage 3 cup with a standard pivot of 589.07. And as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a breakout above the short-term pivots at about 573.88 on above average volume. Next up, we've got REGI, and taking a look at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth in terms of earnings and return on equity, but not so much in terms of sales. And as for annual EPS, you can see in 2020 it did take a hit, but in 2021 it's supposed to bounce right back of 57%. And overall, the EPS rating is a 78, the group R is an A+, the SM rating is an A, accumulation distribution is an A+, and the overall comps rating is a 97. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see it's pretty much been flat over the past 2 years. You do not have any high quality funds investing into this stock. And as for the chart, you can see it's been increasing nicely since the stage 2 cup breakout, and overall it's been kind of riding that 21 EMA to higher prices. So as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a bounce off this 21 EMA, and you can see it had a teal dot on Thursday of last week, and hopefully it can have a green dot indicator suggesting confirmation of the uptrend resuming. So that is REGI, and next up we've got Run, another energy related stock, and overall looking at the earnings and sales, you can see there was nice growth a few quarters ago, but not so much the 2 recent quarters. And taking a look at the annual EPS, you can see in 2020 it was supposed to be negative, but in 2021 it's supposed to pick right back up to 57 cents a share. And overall the EPS rating is pretty poor at 2, the group R is an A+, the SM rating is a D, accumulation distribution is a B, and the overall comps rating is a 65. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend in the number of funds, and you also have one high quality fund investing as well. And overall looking at the chart, you can see it's been trending higher above the 50 SMA, and the RS line had been increasing until this 82.42 pivot, and since then it's been pulling back, and the overall RS rating is a very strong 99. And as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a green dot indicator early next week and a retake of the key 21 EMA. And overall, Run has been in a very strong uptrend since this breakout right here from this consolidation here. And overall, you can see that it hasn't yet hit that 50 SMA, so it could undercut it and move back above it. And once again, that would be a good entry setup since that would be the first pullback to that key moving average. So that is it for Run. And next up, we've got CELH. And overall, you can see excellent growth in terms of earnings and sales. Last quarter, earnings up 999%, sales up 47%, and return on equity up 9%. And overall, you can see in 2020, it took a hit, and it's not supposed to improve in 2021. And overall, the EPS rating is 99, the group R is an A-, the SM rating is a B, accumulation distribution is a B+, and the overall comps rating is a 98. And overall, you can see over the past 2 years, there is some increase, but overall it's been pretty much flat, and there is one high quality fund invested in this company. And overall, you can see this is a recent gap up on above average volume, and you can see that the RS rating is a very strong 96, and the RS line is right at all-time highs. So as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a breakout into new all-time highs above 48.13, or potentially a green dot indicator, which is a 10.44 stochastic cross early next week. And at this point, if we go to a weekly chart, you can see it is 3 weeks tight after this big gap up on volume. So that was CELH, and next up we've got Shopify. And overall, looking at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth here. Last quarter earnings up 950%, sales up 97%, and return on equity of 5.4%. In terms of EPS estimates, you can see in 2020 it's supposed to increase 680%, but it is supposed to decrease down 3% in 2021. The EPS rating is a 78, the group R is an A+, the SM rating is a B, accumulation distribution is a B-, and the overall comps rating is a 99. And you can see a nice increasing trend in the number of funds, and you have a whole bunch of high quality funds in there as well. And overall, looking at the chart, you can see it's been consolidating along with its RS line for quite some time. And overall, you can see this is quite a late stage base. It's stage 8, but the standard pivot for the cup and handle is $1,130. And overall, the RS rating is a very strong 96. So as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a breakout above this short-term pivot. And if we go back to a daily chart here, I've drawn in above 1,130 as shown in MarketSmith. So that's Shopify. And next up, we've got another recent IPO, Unity Software. And overall, you can see excellent revenue growth the past few quarters. Last quarter, sales up 42%, but return on equity was down 23.2%. And overall, you can see it's not supposed to be profitable within the next 2 years. And overall, the EPS rating is a 46. The group RS is a B, SM rating is a D, accumulation distribution is not available, and the overall composite rating is a 76. And there's not much fun information, and taking a look at the chart, you can see it's in its IPO base here, which is a stage 1, with a standard pivot of 102.63. And as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a green dot early next week, and eventually a breakout above this downward trend line if we draw it from these tops, which would be at about 101. So that is you. And next up, we've got Wayfair. And overall, looking at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth. Last quarter, earnings were up 313%, sales up 84%, and return on equity was not available. And overall, looking at the annual EPS, you can see that's $2.29 in 2020, but it's supposed to decrease down 60% in 2021. And overall, the EPS rating is a 42. The group R is an A, SMR rating is not available, commission distribution is a B, and the overall composite rating is an 84. And as for the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend over the past 2 years, and you do have 2 high-quality funds investing into this company. And as for the chart, you can see it's been basing along with its RS line, and overall it's in a stage 1 cup with handle with a standard pivot of 324.21. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a breakout through that pivot or through this downward trend line that I've drawn in right here. So that is W. And last on the list, we've got another recent IPO, Zoom Infotech. And overall, taking a look at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth here. Last quarter earnings up 75%, sales up 62%, and return on equity up 43.1%. And overall, you can see it's just supposed to be profitable in 2020, and it's supposed to gain a further 47% of annual EPS in 2021. The EPS rating is a 77, the group R is an A+, the SMR rating is not available, accumulation distribution is a B+, and the overall composite rating is an 83. And as for the fund ownership, you can see there's already quite a bit of funds in this stock, and you also have 3 high-quality funds investing into this recent IPO. And looking at the chart, you can see it's still within its due diligence phase, but it is showing constructive action with a potential kind of cup shape here. And overall, the RS rating is a pretty strong 75. I would like to see this be higher, but this could be because it's a recent IPO. And as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a breakout above 46.2 or potentially a green dot early next week as it finds support at the 21 EMA. So that's my plan for ZI, and this is one of my top 3 setups along with AMD and also NVIDIA. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please go ahead and leave a like down below if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And also let me know down below in the comment section what stocks are on your focus list for this week. But thanks so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in future videos.